Hey, sup YouTube, this is a Jungle Shaco guide. This is my first commentary. The reason I wanted to do Shaco as my first commentary video is because he was actually the champion I bought to level up to level 30 back when I started in Season 2. So I have some pretty good memories of him, and I know people are going to be complaining about how I said his name. Some people call him Shaco, other people call him Shaco, and if you type the name in Google Translate, the text of it is Vietnamese and the voice calls it Shaco, which is weird, and the English version calls it Shaco, so I guess no one knows what the hell his name is. So, right here we're going to ward, and the reason we're going to ward there is because, you know, a lot of people think that you're going to invade the Shaco, and if you get over there quickly, you can see whether or not they ward, and if they don't, then, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed to invade them, so a little bit of mind games there. So we go ahead and place boxes at 41 seconds, and then we just keep placing them down. So for the runes, we're taking the Dark Harvest as our keystone, and the other unusual thing is we're taking Water Walking and Celerity. Now the reason for that is because you can take Gathering Storm and Transcendence, which are really good when you're low elo, but the reason I took Celerity and Water Walking is just because I really like how it feels, just you know, being able to queue over a wall and then walk 20 feet as I'm invisible, and then stab the ADC in the back before I'm even visible again. It's really awesome, and so that's the reason why you get a lot of move speed as Shaco. You know, boots of mobility, crap like that. It just makes it so you can, it's sort of like extending the duration of your queue, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you cover more distance if you can move faster. So at any rate, we're just gonna farm and, you know, do our thing. We're not gonna invade because, you know, I didn't really want to. I just wanted to, you know, do my thing and farm because we got Dark Harvest. Now some people take Electrocute, but I gotta say, you know, this was I haven't played Shaco in just forever, and Dark Harvest, man, it's the first time I tried on him. I had some games where I was playing around with Electrocute, and I don't really like it. I gotta say, I like Dark Harvest a lot better. It doesn't really feel like it's weak or anything, and it scales a lot better than Electrocute. And Shaco is one of those champions where he's pretty underrated, to be honest. Overrated. And he is my favorite character, but the reason why he's overrated is because he only, I mean, if you think about it, he goes in with his Q, right? And from there, you know, you're sort of just assuming you're going to auto-attack the enemy with an enhanced critical hit. That's assuming you have Infinity Edge, otherwise it's not enhanced. And after that, you know, you just have your E. I mean, your box and your ultimate don't really, I mean, I don't really think of them as spells most of the time. So anyways, I'll get back on that thought. So we stopped farming for a moment here to go ahead and go down bot because I kept looking down bot, and I'm like, you know, what the hell is this? You know, the enemy bot lane went, you know, super hard. I mean, they were practically turret doving there, which is just crazy. We're just gonna go ahead and get as much farm as we can here, and Jin's back, so we're just gonna let him take the wave. Normally I would say push the wave, but you know, I want to go ahead and get my jungle camps because they're more of a priority right now. And you know, the only people I won't steal farm from is like ADCs, because ADCs scale the best into late game. So I really want Jin to get his farm. I don't want to take all of it, and you know, it'd take forever to clear the other wave. So you notice we're taking the small raptors first, and that's because it reduces the damage. I do mess up a bit here. I thought the burn would kill a few of them, and it actually didn't. The tick wore off, so I took a little bit more damage than intended. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the golems, and then we're gonna go ahead and back, because you know the reason why I walked all the way back over here just to do the golems is because, you know, you don't want to get into the habit of leaving your campsite especially if you have Dark Harvest, obviously, but more importantly, the biggest reason is because you lose golden experience, and I'm not going to be back down here again until after the rest of my camps spawn. You know what I'm saying? So it's logical to just go ahead, clear that out, and then go ahead and back, and then go on the other side of the map. It just makes the most sense that way.
I don't know where, but everything about to be changed. Organically coming alive is growing and growing like every day. Cause I've been just planning this.
So we're gonna get Tiamat, and the reason for that is because it just helps with things like the chicken camp and chicken raptors, whatever you want to call it. They do a lot of damage. And also, the other reason is because with Shaco, you want to sort of turn into a split pusher in the mid and late game, because you don't really just want to get into the habit of team fighting with Shaco. I mean, your goal is essentially just to walk up, delete the ADC, and then 9 times out of 10 you pretty much die after that. I mean, the only trick you have in the bag is using your ultimate to dodge one skill shot or whatever. So you're still a squishy champion. You're not going to be building tank on Shaco. You're not going to be building against tanks either, because your job is just to delete someone. And a lot of people, it is a good strategy to build accordingly, but you just don't do that with assassins. They're not really made to be tanks, or to build against tanks. They're just meant to the only area they really excel at is deleting squishies, and so that's the reason why I think the assassins are kind of like the worst in the game. Now and then the other thing is, a lot of them sort of lack gap closers too. They kind of just have one big combo or whatever, and then after that they're just completely immobile. Zed is sort of like an example of this. Well, he has a shallow in his ultimate, so I guess he's better than some, but Rengar, he kind of just does his ultimate, and then he kind of just sits there, and if you're not near a bush, you're just sort of stuck. Shaco has the same problem. He goes in with his Q, and he's just kind of a melee guy with a lot of damage, and late game you're just going to get fucked. You're just going to get absolutely bended over and fucked. I mean, probably one of the better ones in my opinion is Akali, because she just has so many dashes, so she kind of just remedies that problem. So that's the reason, that's just one more reason why you take Dark Harvest. You want to make sure that you sort of stay relevant throughout the game. You're gonna split push, you're gonna get your jungle camps, and you're gonna gank your lanes and hopefully get a kill, but you're not gonna focus entirely on kills. And I feel like getting electrocute, I feel like it pressures you more to perform early. That's what she said, but and the reason for that is because you know that there's better options than electrocute for the late game. So obviously, if you're taking it, you're looking for early plays. So we're gonna go ahead and back here and get our Moby boots. And as I explained earlier, the reason we get the Moby boots over any other boots is because you get like 3.5 seconds on your stealth to just run around and do whatever the fuck you want to do. But if you have higher move speed, you can cover more distance. So in a way, it's sort of like having more seconds of stealth, because if you didn't have all that much move speed, you wouldn't be able to cover that much distance. You see what I'm saying? So it's a really good thing to have on Shaco. I mean, I don't know where the fuck, I just don't know where the fuck the fight is, and then I see that there's, that many bot lane. I kind of, hover over there, see if there's something I can do, and yeah, no, there's no way that just me by myself can do anything. So I'm just gonna get my red, and then I'm gonna head over to mid, because we already cleared our chickens and all of that crap. There's really nothing else I can do. If I go bot right now, I'm just gonna, open up a McDonald's and just start feeding the enemy, and I don't wanna do that shit. So I'm just gonna get mid, maybe pressure a tower or whatever. But then I look and I'm like, wow, they're still going pretty hard on that shit. So, you know, now that I actually see that they're low from Twisted Fate and Jinald, I'm gonna come down because, you know, you always want to play accordingly. I could have hit the tower there, but, you know, there's better options. Get a few more kills and try to snowball my lead. And just the enemy bot lane in this game was just really weird. Just like so many preemptive dives. I mean, it's not like they're Malphite or anything. They're just sort of running in like chickens without a head. You know, fun fact, you know, if you cut a chicken's head off, they still run around. That's where the phrase comes from. Don't ask me how I know that. I saw something horrific. Yes, there was an old lady, you know, like 80 years old, and she literally just was on a chair, lifted her chair up, and just sat on top of a chicken's neck and snapped it. I was like, what the fuck is this? So my ally's back here, you know, a bit of a mistake here. Should go ahead and clear the wave. I'm not sure why they backed so early, but you know, it's okay. We'll go ahead and get it. Solo experience for us. And we're gonna go ahead and get the Skull Crab. Now, it's funny is that the enemy jungler is like not contesting these at all. That's a big mistake. You really want to contest the Skull Crab as the jungler, and the reason for that is because junglers earn less gold than everybody else. And you know, that's 70 gold you're just giving up for free. Another thing I notice is some junglers who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They'll gank a lane, you know, be successful, and then they'll kind of just back away. That's another big mistake, guys, is you wanna gank and then you wanna push the wave in. You know, I mean, even if your ally is Nasus, you know, denying the enemy 2 waves of farm, you know, is gonna be a lot better than just freezing the wave for the Nasus or whatever. You know, 9 times out of 10. Especially in the early game where people don't know how to fucking freeze to begin with. You know, and seeing that this is a bad idea, you know, I'm sitting on a lot of gold. I don't really want to fight here. I'm hoping that, you know, my team will just, you know, let me do my thing, and then I'll go ahead and back, and, you know, we'll just sort of rinse and repeat and kill the enemy again. So that's the reason why I'm trying to, you know, tell them not to fight. I just want to get the bot farm. I don't want to do anything crazy. And my team goes in, so it's like, well, I mean, I got basically no mana, so I mean, I just gotta go ahead and back, and I'm almost half HP, and you know, even though I'm doing pretty well, Shaco is a really squishy champion. So we got a Dustblade now, and Dustblade is a fantastic item. It's like, it's almost like it was made for Shaco, you know? You know, it's one of those items where if you're unseen for like half a second or whatever, you know, you can pop out and deal a lot of damage. And with Shaco, I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world to do. It adds so much extra damage. So I see your bitch ass running, so I'm gonna come and get you. You can't get away. Yeah, I'm gonna get him here. So, you're just gonna go ahead and shove the wave. Classic shit right here. And you always want to flash your emotes. And you know, the reason I say that is because, you know, sometimes people rage quit. You never know. I mean, there's a lot of really toxic people in League of Legends. So we'll go ahead and pop our ult here because we want to try and do as much damage to this tower as possible. We might get it, we might not. It doesn't matter. I mean, just look how much damage you do just from a few seconds. And Nocturne goes really hard on me here. I mean, he smites me and everything, but you know, just because of my Q, I'm able to get in range of my tower. So, you know, I felt pretty confident there. I mean, he could probably burst me out or something if, you know, he was, you know, if he had just gone on me earlier. But I mean, he waited for me to just literally walk away. I'm not sure why the fuck he smited then. So we're on blue side, Wolves blue, Grom, standard shit. But you know, you always want to go, if you have the opportunity. You know, I see that the Scuttle is around, and I want to go ahead and get that first before I get my Grom, because you know, we always want to contest these. Like I said, it just you know, the Gromp is always going to be there, but you know, anyone can get, you know, because I don't think that the enemy's ever going to counter jungle me. And you know, but the Gromp is going to be there, so I can always come back. But the Skull Crab, you know, they can take it. You know, seeing that I can just go ahead and take this, I go ahead and see if it's there, and I take it, further putting the enemy jungler back. Now a lot of people, like, they over-focus on counter jungling and crap like that. It's not really necessary. Just sort of do your thing. I mean, I'm already ahead of the enemy jungler just by playing smarter than he is. You know, counter jungling is good, but, you know, if you... The reason I say, you know, don't focus too heavily on it is because, you know, I like to say time is money. You know, if you saw my Pantheon video, you know, I sort of explained that. You know, how every action you take in League of Legends, you want to sort of think about, you know, what is going to give you the most gold in the shortest amount of time. And if all you're doing is counter jungling the enemy, running around back and forth, you know, there are going to be times when you go into the enemy jungle and, well, the enemy took it already, and then you just wasted, you know, what, 30 seconds running around. And, you know, that's 30 seconds you could have gotten your own camps, or, you know, ganked, or done a million other things. So that's the reason why you don't want to over-focus on counter jungling, no matter what anyone tells you. I mean, I guess you could make the argument if you're playing Nunu or Ivern, but who the fuck plays Nunu or Ivern? Because I sure as hell don't. I mean, they're support champions, essentially. I mean, if I'm going to play a shield champion, which is basically the only thing Ivern's good for, I'd rather play Janna because, you know, that bitch can give you, like, a shit ton of attack damage, especially if you build her pure AP. So I'm going to go for a bit of risk. I'm kind of nervous. You know, this is a, 2v2. I have a lot of gold. If I get shut down, it's going to, you know... Holy shit, look at that fucking damage. You know, that's the reason... That right there, it's the reason why we take Dustblade, boys. That's the reason why. Yeah, I sort of back away because, you know, I'm just not used to Kael's usually sucking this bad, and I thought she would do more damage. So I was pretty preemptive with my ultimate there, but, you know, like I said, Shaco's really squishy, and usually the moment the enemy starts wailing on you, you just see your life sort of flash before your eyes. Your health bar just gets deleted really quickly. So we have to use sneaky tactics. But, you know, from this point forward, we don't really fall off. I mean, Shaco does fall off because, you know, he's a fucking assassin, and, you know, late game 5v5s, he kills someone and someone kills him. That's pretty much what you can expect out of assassins, but I say we don't fall off because as far as deleting someone, you know, once you got the Dustblade, you know, the cat's in the bag, you know, you're always going to be able to delete the ADC unless they've got Taric or, you know, Zillion, Kael ult, but this Kael's not very good, so, you know, I feel pretty confident here. And we're just going ahead and getting this top farm because, you know, this is sort of the point in the game. You know, we can see mid, you know, Jin's not really doing anything, Twisted Fate and Lux aren't really doing anything, and then they all group middle, and I'm like, shit, you know, don't fight, boys, and just let me go ahead and buy. You know, don't do anything crazy, just wait 5 seconds, but, you know, it's League of Legends, and your team always looks for a fight anyways. But, you know, so we're gonna go ahead and get the Herald. And my team is actually on point with me here, which is really rare, because usually, you know, your team doesn't really listen, you know, which is why I always mute everyone to begin with, because, you know, the only thing you're gonna ever hear them say is, you know, them complaining at you. The only person I didn't mute was Aurelian Soul, because he had a really funny name. I wonder if he's fapping even now.
Got mental issues.
So I was hoping that I could get the Herald. I'm pretty confident that I'd make better use of it, but, you know, we'll go ahead and see what happens. You know, maybe, you know, GP was pretty adamant about having it, so, you know, hopefully he uses it correctly, but, you know, most times they don't, just saying. You know, usually you want to save the Herald for after you win a small team, and there it goes. And that is like an absolutely huge waste of the Rift Herald. As I was saying, usually you want to get a team fight, you know, and then after the team fight, use the Rift Herald, and I mean, you could get 2 towers and then a inhibitor. I mean, just from that. Yeah, and people, they always waste the Rift Herald. They always just use it for 1 tower when they're split pushing or whatever, and that's a waste. Has so much more potential than that. God, I wanted to go for Nocturnes because I saw this Q go off, but then I saw that the other people are near him, and then I see Malzahar, and I just sort of go on him. So, you know, I just came out of nowhere like John Cena, or sorry, like Randy Orton, and, you know, because of that, I just go ahead and flash my emote. You know, once again, tilt the enemy out, make them rage quit. That's the type of shit that happens, you know. You always want to flash your emotes. You would really be surprised if you never played League of Legends before. It can get pretty competitive, and a lot of people get frustrated easily. Shaco's one of those champions that can just drive someone insane too, because you can't catch the fucker. He just, you know, he could just walk towards you and then walk away and queue over a wall or some shit. Back in last season, I would get a bunch of gold runes, and then I would build AP Shaco and just run around doing shenanigans like that and just put the boxes everywhere. And because I had all gold runes, I wasn't really wasting, you know, as much money just sitting around setting up boxes, and like I would get a bunch of kills that way. It was pretty funny. So, you know, we go ahead and push the bot wave, you know, and then we push one more wave because, you know, we want it to be, the wave was pushing against us, and, you know, the Jin Hair is not taking advantage of that at all. He just keeps giving up farm, which is, you know, not what you want to do as the ADC. As the ADC, I would say, you know, if you're gonna play ADC, I would say the ADC is, like, out of all the roles, that's the one that you want to funnel the most farm onto. I mean, it can be argued that if you're playing an assassin, you need it too, just for the fact that if you fall off as an assassin, you're just a useless teammate at that point. You know, if you can't instantly kill someone, then, I mean, there's no point playing assassin anymore. You just kind of gimped yourself and playing a character that's not really optimal. But I would say give it to the ADC, give the farm to the ADC, because they're going to scale into the late game, and assassin's not going to scale into the late game. But, you know, once again, this is low elo. These people don't really know what they're doing. You know, I've played this game since Season 2, so, I mean, I know this game a lot more than some people. I mean, my highest rank was, like, Plat 3, and then I decayed to, like, Plat 5. That was, like, 2 seasons ago. I haven't really taken ranked too seriously since then. Last season, I was kind of just playing ranked for the fun of it. I just like the competition, but I wasn't really, like, going try hard. And then this season I haven't even done ranked because I've been focusing on doing videos and crap. And I mean, look at this. I mean, the enemy jungler never gets their buffs this game. It's weird. Just look at all these little mistakes. It's I'm telling you, it's these little mistakes that really make a difference. And holy shit, look at that damage. And I mean, I was not expecting that. I really thought that Kale would be able to clean up there, but I guess I'm just really far ahead. As Kale, you really don't have to do anything. You just get Runaan's Hurricane, Queen So's, Wit's End, and then, you know, or you could get Nashers instead and go into Death Cap. And you do shit like that as Kale, like on-hit Kale, and she just destroys everyone. She's like a ranged version of Tryndamere because of her ultimate. She scales into late game really well. It's like an ADC as a mage. So I go ahead and get the dragon here because, you know, I could push out in the wave, try to get the tower or whatever, you know, which probably would have been a better choice, but, you know, I don't know if people are going to rotate. It just, you know, in my mind, since the games last so long in Silver, I just sort of thought that, you know, since they do last that long, that the dragon helping us push when we can push is going to be better. You know, it looked like we kind of had people spread it out anyways, so, you know. Dragon's not a bad choice. And that's another thing, guys, you know, when you get a kill, you know, think of it as just an advantage. But it does nothing for you if you don't use that opportunity to get another advantage. See what I'm saying? You know, either push a tower, get a dragon, do something. So we're going to go for the GA because, you know, we don't want to give up a huge bounty to the enemy. And the enemy literally surrenders here, which is a huge disappointment. You know, I wanted to showcase more of this. But, you know, from here we would have just gone for a team fight or baited around Baron and just pushed and ended it. You know, even if the game drags on, we have this one in the bag. Because, you know, once you get GA, it's a power buy. You know, you can make even more riskier plays without risk of death. Baron looks different today because, you know, it's the Lunar Veil, Rebel, however the fuck you say it. Look at that, just like 70% of her HP gone in an instant. And then the other person loses like, what, was that like 50% or something like that? Shaco is like one of the few champions in the game that can just perform one-shots or just Q you and then auto-attack and you're dead. Like, look at that shit. One-shotting with Shaco, you know. So anyways, I want to thank you guys all for watching. You know, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for hearing my first commentary. Hope you learned something.